clutch that 30 no more. When it's 11, I need energy on me. Baby, can you make a wish for me?
Dada. Hi, Daddy. I see Dada. I see Dada. Hi, Dada. Hi, Dada. I see Dada. Oh, Dada.
I have custody of my little sister who's 16, and my mom is terminally ill, so I just gotta take care of my family. Like,
what made you take the initiative to have custody of your sister?
my mom just started getting
Way. His family knew him as Saiveon, a son, a father, a caretaker. In September 2024, a night out with family in Lincoln, Nebraska ended in gunfire. What followed was a 2-year story of grief that most true crime coverage never bothers to finish telling. Welcome to Crime Beyond the Shadows. If you're new here, subscribe.
Whoa!
No, we're not doing that.
Okay. Hi guys, my name is Saiveon. I'm here with my friends.
Today, we're covering the death of Saiveon Hopkins, known to many online as Jay Hefner, and the mother whose own fight for survival would end just under 2 years after his. He was 24, a father, a son, known in certain corners of the internet by a different name entirely. He had just taken his mother to a Husker football game. Within hours of a night out downtown, he was gone, and 2 men would eventually be charged with murder. What's harder to process is what came after. A mother already living with a terminal diagnosis, now burying the son who spent his final months trying to make sure she'd be taken care of. This is a story about a single night of violence, and the years of aftermath most true crime coverage never follows. Before we get into it, have you ever had to be the strong one for a parent, even while you were grieving yourself? Tell us in the comments. We read every one. Saiveon Hopkins lived in Ontario, California. He had a 10-month-old daughter and a girlfriend, Madeline, who were waiting for him to come home. Online, under the name Jay Hefner, he'd built a following in adult entertainment, a career that made him recognizable to an audience far beyond his hometown.
Baby, would you really go ahead and would you go ahead and just cry?
But the people closest to him described someone whose focus was elsewhere. His mother, Jeni Brown, had been living with congestive heart failure for years, at times critical enough to put her on a waiting list for a heart transplant. Saiveon had taken on the role of helping care for her and for his younger siblings, including one recovering from a serious injury of his own. He traveled to Lincoln, Nebraska that week to see family. On one of his last days there, he took his mother to watch the Huskers play. He was, by every account available to us, a young man trying to hold a family together, working toward a future secure enough that his mother wouldn't have to worry about what came next. He had no way of knowing the order those worries would happen in. By early September 8, 2024, Saiveon was downtown with people he knew, near 11th and O Street, an area known for its bars and late-night crowds. What exactly triggered the violence that followed isn't something we can lay out with full certainty.
Now let's shift our focus to a tragic incident that took place in the U.S. state of Nebraska. Adult film actor Jay Hefner was tragically shot dead in an incident described by his family as a senseless act of gun violence. The 24-year-old, whose real name is Saiveon Hopkins from Ontario, Canada, was in Nebraska to join a birthday celebration when the fatal shooting occurred. His family, an adult film production company he worked for, confirmed that that was his identity and that he was indeed the victim. A GoFundMe page has been launched to cover funeral costs. Over $25,000 has already been donated. The fundraising page reveals that he was killed while trying to protect his cousin from physical violence. According to the page, he is remembered as a beacon of light for his loved ones, a devoted father to his 10-month-old daughter, and a supportive son who's assisted his terminally ill mother with caring for his siblings. The adult entertainment industry has been rocked by a series of tragic deaths. Jesse Jane, Cagney, Lynn, Carter, and Sophia Leone all passed away within the first 3 months of 2024. The causes of their deaths include drug overdoses and suicide, leaving the community in mourning and seeking answers.
What multiple reports describe as a chaotic scene. Words exchanged, then physical fights breaking out among a group outside one of the bars. One detail has circulated widely in coverage of this case, that Saiveon was shot while stepping in to protect his cousin, who was caught up in the fighting. As the fighting escalated, at least one person pulled a gun. Remember that detail. It becomes central to the charges filed weeks later. Lincoln police responded to reports of a large fight near the bar. When officers arrived, they found 2 men with gunshot wounds. A third man was also struck, though he would survive with injuries that were not life-threatening. Saiveon did not survive. For his family in California, the news arrived the way it does for so many in these stories. A phone call in the middle of the night, informing them that the son who had just taken his mother to a football game a day earlier would not be coming home. His daughter was 10 months old. She will grow up knowing her father only through photographs, videos, and the stories the people who loved him choose to tell her.
I've been missing you at home, but when you gone, I still smell you. You ain't gotta run, sit down and talk, I'm here to help you. I ain't nothing like none of the other niggas who done left you. If I ever do you wrong, then you can let me go.
What would you want your last conversation with someone you love to sound like, if you knew it might be the last one? It's worth sitting with.
What was the name of the musical group Justin Timberlake used to be in?
Oh. Boys to Men.
Right.
Oh my God, NSYNC.
NSYNC, there we go.
Boys to Men.
He's such conviction.
I make you believe it.
Like the best, niggas getting pop or right to left, my body place to catch. Some about me wrote them on my post and then it's not a stretch. Now I'm 30 shots, I pull out 8, they couldn't find a rest. School of hard, not bloody, I'm drunk because that's a test.
In the weeks that followed, Lincoln Police and the Lancaster County Attorney's Office built their case.
Just last night, we told you that investigators had arrested 2 people they say are connected to that shooting in downtown Lincoln last month that left a 24-year-old man dead. This afternoon, both were in court and formally charged.
And both men, now behind bars, were picked up in Omaha. Right now, it appears as though they will stay locked up for the foreseeable future. 1011's John Grinvald was in that courtroom. He joins us live this evening in the newsroom with the latest on all of this. John?
Cole Madison, the judge presiding over this case, determined back-to-back that both of those men will be held in jail without bond. And if found guilty, both could end up spending the rest of their lives in prison. As we tend to see with these arraignments, they don't last long. 23-year-old Kavion Wright is accused of pulling the trigger that night, and he's been charged with first-degree murder, 2 counts of second-degree assault, and use of a weapon to commit a felony. 30-year-old Gregory Bahati is charged with aiding and abetting in those alleged crimes. That shooting took place in the early morning hours of September 8th outside of a bar near 11th and O, with Saiveon Hopkins dying at the hospital. LPD outlining what sparked the violence earlier today.
Just prior to the shooting taking place, Bahati had a minor involvement in one of the fights. Bahati disengaged from the fight, turned and looked towards the area where Hopkins and Wright were standing, and said, "Shoot him," while pointing in the direction of Hopkins.
Police say that's when Wright pulled out a gun and fired at least twice before running away. Investigators say surveillance video then caught Wright jumping into an SUV nearby that is believed to belong to a family member of Bahati's. Wright and Bahati will both be back in court on different dates next month. Reporting in the newsroom, John Grinvald, 1011.
2 men were arrested and charged in connection with Saiveon's death. 23-year-old Kavion Wright and 30-year-old Gregory Bahati. Wright was charged with first-degree murder, 2 counts of second-degree assault, and use of a firearm to commit a felony. Bahati's case took a notable turn. He was initially charged in a role tied to aiding or assisting in the crime. Later, the Lancaster County attorney upgraded his charge to murder directly. A change, he stated, came without any new evidence surfacing. It was, by his own account, a reassessment of the existing facts rather than a new discovery. We want to be clear, as we always are, both men are presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in a court of law. Nothing in this video should be taken as a statement of guilt beyond the charges that have been filed. This is the part of the story that sets it apart from so many others we cover. Jeni Brown had been fighting congestive heart failure for years before her son's death. Earlier in 2024, she had been actively pursuing a heart transplant at a hospital in Omaha, her condition already critical enough that doctors were preparing her for the transplant list. Saiveon had been one of the people helping carry that weight, financially, and in the day-to-day work of caring for a parent whose health could turn at any time.
I have custody of my little sister who's 16, and my mom is terminally ill, so I just gotta take care of my family. Like,
What made you take the initiative to have custody of your sister?
my mom just started to get too sick. She couldn't work no more, she couldn't do nothing, and it was hard for my little sister. I was like, okay, well, yeah, just send her with me. Like, it'll be easier.
So you're like the leader, the provider.
Yeah.
Then everything reversed. Instead of Saiveon one day arranging his mother's funeral, as he'd reportedly been quietly preparing for, it was Jeni who had to bury her son. She continued her fight for nearly 2 more years. According to her obituary, Jeni Brown passed away on June 9, 2026, after what's described as a years-long battle with her heart condition. She was preceded in death by Saiveon. 2 deaths, separated by nearly 2 years, but connected by the same family, the same grief, and, many who knew them would say, the same broken heart. Do you think grief like this can genuinely affect a person's health over time? Have you seen it happen in your own family? Let us know below. A young man who spent his final months trying to secure his mother's future, a mother who spent her final years carrying the loss of the son who tried to protect her. The truth will always come to light. Subscribe for more updates on this case. This is Crime Beyond the Shadows. We will always bring you the cases that demand answers.